Man, I keep doing that on these Monday Mindsets. I'm muting myself, and then I'm not unmuting myself. So good morning. Welcome to another Monday Mindset. It is great to be with you guys. I am fired up today. I've already had some amazing conversations this morning. We have great things happening at my company, Reminder Media. I hope you have amazing things happening in your business. And sometimes, I've been talking a lot about having like radical candor conversations. Because if you don't have radical candor with people, if you're not direct with people, you won't get progress. And so we've been having a ton of radical candor conversations. That's why I think it's on my heart and mind. I'm trying to train up leaders to do that so we can actually move. And I spoke to an insurance group over the weekend. So on Saturday, I spoke to a group over Zoom. Actually, Medicare Misty, shout out to you. It was an event that she was putting on. And it was all around the launch of AEP. And I was talking about motivation, and I told them, hey, the reason why I want to talk about motivation before I get into tactics, even though I'm a tactics person myself, like I want to give you tactics to help you. But the reason why I'm talking about motivation is because I've done 450 interviews with people on my podcast. And what I have found is that knowledge is not power. There are a lot of smart people out there that do nothing with their life, that do nothing with their business. You can get all the knowledge in the world, but if you don't execute, it means nothing. Knowledge plus execution is power. And so I want to motivate you because motivation literally means just to move somebody. You got to move them to attack the thing in their life that they're not facing. So my challenging question to you today, what is up, Joe? My challenging question to you guys today is, what is it in your life, in your business right now that you need to move against, that you need to stop accepting mediocrity and you need to move against it? Listen to this Alex Hormozy quote. I read this on Threads this morning. So I do a 5 a.m. call every morning with people from my work that we get on, hold each other accountable to be up early before the sun to get to the gym. And I read this quote to him. I said, the hardest part of the plan isn't thinking of the plan or even doing the plan. It's sticking with the plan. And I have found that to be true in my life, in my business. It's easy sometimes to come up with a plan. It's easy to even start with the plan. It is insanely hard to stick with the plan. And we're going to talk today about how do you motivate yourself to stick with the plan. If you're reading kind of the caption that I wrote, I put in a question. It was strong starter, weak finisher. And this was a question that was posed to me by one of my team members in sales. They were sharing the question of basically like, hey, I start really strong, but during the week, I lose my motivation. I lose my energy. Do you have any advice for me? I'm going to give you that advice on the other side of this intro. Let's go. It's Monday Mindset. We're going to have an incredible week. Let's make it happen.
There are no bad businesses. There are just those people who don't know enough to see the opportunities in the work they're in. If there seems to be no future or opportunity in it, it isn't always because it's not there, but perhaps only because we can't see it.
Let's go. I am fired up this morning. Man, I think I've had too much caffeine. Can you ever have too much caffeine? Probably had too much caffeine, but I'm fired up this morning because I want us to move against the things in our lives that are not allowing us to make it to that next level. And there's something in your life right now that you need to move against. You need to get motivated to move against that thing. It's Monday. You got to start the week off strong. You got to win the morning. It's 10 o'clock here on the East Coast. You got to win this morning so you can win the day. You've ever read the book, Eat the Frog? It talks about doing the hardest things in the morning because you have the energy and the tenacity to face them so you can actually conquer the day. Do not wait till the end of the day to try to do the hardest things because you won't do them. Because, man, you're the best salesman in the world and you can talk yourself out of anything. Try to get up at 4 a.m. tomorrow and you're going to see how good of a salesperson you are because you're going to see all the sale that comes into your mind of like, oh, I should sleep. It's more valuable than getting up and getting to the gym. I need my rest. You're going to sell yourself out of getting up early and getting to the gym. So there's something in your life you got to move against. And I just want to share with you, I got a text this morning from one of the leaders in our company. And they were talking about, hey, we were talking about one of the problems that we're facing and we're not growing and we're struggling with some leadership when it comes to our middle level management, having hard conversations with their people. And they made us a comment that basically said, the problem with our leaders is they care about people more than they care about results. And I reframed that for them because I don't believe that's true. What I believe is true is that actually, if you care about people to the utmost, you'll care about the result and you will not slack in having that combo with them. What they were trying to say is that, hey, look, our people aren't having these hard conversations with underperformers because they care more about that person's feelings than they care about the result of actually winning the game. And I would say, actually, that person doesn't care about that person that they're not talking to. If you actually cared about that person, then you would address their underperformance because nobody wakes up today to be mediocre. I didn't wake up today to be mediocre. Did you? So nobody wakes up to be mediocre. Actually, them using the excuse that I care about the person, that's why I'm not addressing it, I don't want to make them feel bad, is actually they don't care about the person. They only care about themselves. They care about their own ego. They care about how they're going to be viewed by that person if they came at that person. And that doesn't actually cause change in anybody's life. So I said, hey, look, I get the point that you're trying to make, but I actually disagree with how you're saying it. Actually, if you care about people to the utmost, you will address their performance. You will have hard conversations with them. So that was a text message that I was responding to and talking in the gym this morning when I was working out. But we do this new hire lunch. So I think I mentioned on my last Monday Mindset, we've hired 46 new salespeople in the last 60 days. So we've had a lot of people joining this organization right now. And we do new hire lunches because I want to meet everybody to try to, I call it evangelize, maybe indoctrinate. You guys are going to think I'm running a cult or something here. I try to get in front of all the new people because they joined this organization and I want to make sure they're aligned to the vision. This is one, it's the tangential point, but it's one of the most powerful points in business. If you don't have everybody aligned to the same vision, man, everybody has an oar. When they get on your boat, they have an oar. They have a paddle that they're going to row with. And if they're not aligned, man, people are going to be rowing in different directions. And when you row in different directions, the boat just goes in a circle. It never goes forward. You got to get people aligned to the vision. And keep in mind, aligning to the vision doesn't mean they aren't caring about their own vision, title that they want to achieve, education that they want to achieve, pay that they want to achieve. Those are all great things. I want my people to want more money. I want my people to want a bigger title and to grow in their career. I want all those things. I just have to make sure those things fit within the ultimate vision of the organization, because if it's aligned, that I can help Luke Acree, the team member, grow in his money, grow in his position. And as he grows in money and grows in position, it pushes the company forward. It's a win-win. But most of the time, people don't address getting aligned to the vision, and then they struggle to actually get the company to move forward because everybody has a paddle and they're rowing in different directions and you don't even realize it. So in this new hire lunch that I'm doing, I got 2 questions about, Luke, how do you motivate yourself? And these are sales colors. In my sales team, they're making 200, 300 dials a day and getting rejected 98% of the time by people like you. You guys are rejecting my salespeople, which is awesome, right? So sales is rejection. 99% is rejection. Embrace the no. A no's not a never. And the no's the building block to the yes, as Zig Ziglar always says. But they're getting rejected all the time. And this is what one of my new sales reps wrote to me asking a question. They basically said, rather than letting bad days get to me, so they don't struggle with letting bad days get to them, they said, I lose energy throughout the day and the week. Strong starter, weak finisher. I don't know how to revamp myself effectively halfway through the day or the end of the week. I'm the type of person who needs a power nap or that sort of thing, but I don't have time during my lunch because I have to take my dog out. I can't drink another coffee because I won't sleep. It truly does affect my calls. So this is one of our new sales reps sharing this with me. They've been on the job probably for 60 days or so at this point. And so here's what I would tell them and have told them, and what I would tell you if you're struggling with the same thing, which is, you will never in the moment be able to motivate yourself if you haven't put in the work beforehand. You will never in the moment be able to motivate yourself if you haven't put in the work beforehand. Tom Brady doesn't get at the 2-minute warning to win the Super Bowl, driving the team down the field and just hope in the moment he shows up. Tom Brady's hope is built on a confidence of the work he's put in. The hours in the film room, the hours on the practice field. Read his book, TB12. He measures the water intake, the sleep, the food. He measures everything about his life. So when the moment comes, he's prepared. So what I would share with this person is hey, you won't be able to motivate yourself in the moment. It's actually in the daily contribution to your bank account of health, to your bank account of mindset, to your bank account of your relationships, to your bank account. If you keep depositing daily, when you need a withdrawal, the withdrawal will be there. But most of us, we don't deposit, or the things that we deposit are crap. Man, the election cycle has started again, and I have found myself on YouTube getting sucked back in to like the debates, to the different things on CNN or Fox News or MSNBC, all these different clips on YouTube. And it's the freaking boob tube, as they call it. I've already seen a decrease in my mindset, in my effectiveness, because what you deposit in your brain is what you tend to think about. What you tend to think about is what you act upon. What you act upon becomes your habit. What your habit forms is your character, and your character is who you are. And I would tell you, if you're this person that is a strong starter, but a weak finisher, it's because it's the discipline of depositing. I guarantee you this person right here, because I know them, they are depositing. It's not like they're not doing anything. They're motivating themselves at the first of the day, but they're not consistently depositing. They're not consistently and persisting through to go, hey, look, Zig Ziglar said it best. Motivation is like bathing. Recommend it daily. You have to deposit daily into your mind, body, and spirit. And I would tell people one of the things we avoid the most in all of this, you hear me talk about it all the time. Yes, you got to read the right books. You got to listen to the right podcasts. You got to join things like the Insurance Syndicate. Those who are joining on Instagram, thanks for joining. You got to listen to these things to motivate yourself, right? But I would also challenge you to go, your environment is probably one of the most critical things that you need to look at. You put a flower in the desert, it dies. You put a flower in the good soil, it will blossom. You might be a flower that's in a bad environment, and you don't realize it because you can't choose a lot of times who you are, the family you're born into, the friends you've gotten at your school. You don't realize the environment that you're surrounded with, and these people are speaking into your life. Don't hear me wrong. You don't have to not love them. You don't have to not like them, but you don't have to listen to them. There are a lot of people that I love and that I like in my life, but I do not listen to them, and I do not let them influence me. I shut my mind off to allowing them in. You don't want to shut your mind off to everybody. You want to open your mind to the right type of counsel. You need to put yourself into an environment that will help you grow, an environment that will challenge you. So you've got to make the investment. Second thing I would tell them is their goal is not big enough. Their goal and what they're trying to achieve is not big enough. And not only is it not big enough, this is more powerful than the big, right? Grant Cardone talks about 10Xing all the time, which is a great thing. But I would challenge and say your goal is not specific enough. Right? Where you have complexity, you have lack of clarity. When you have something that is a big goal with no actual understanding of how to get there, no specifics of what you're actually going to do, you have lack of clarity because it's complex, because you've never figured it out. And if you have lack of clarity, you have lack of execution. If you have lack of execution, you have lack of motivation. Nobody wakes up today to be mediocre, right? So when you're waking up and you know you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing, but you don't know what you're supposed to be doing, you get down inside. And when you get down inside because you're not living out what you're supposed to be doing, you have a lack of integrity with yourself. And it's why you hit halfway through the week and you get discouraged and you give in and you give up. You got to set that big goal, and you got to get specific on what that is. If I asked you today, 10 years from now, what do you want your life to look like? Have you even thought about that? Have you even taken the time to write that down on paper? Go listen to the top coaches in almost every industry, and they talk about writing a 10-year letter to yourself, a 20-year letter to yourself. Sit down and write your 20-year letter. Go follow this guy, Tom Ferry. He's in the real estate industry. This guy's an absolute beast. I've been following him for years. He's #1 coach in real estate. I told Cody Askins, I love Cody. Shout out to Cody. I told Cody, go check out Tom Ferry, dude. I think you're the Tom Ferry of insurance. I think that's what you're building. But this guy's a beast. And he sits down frequently and writes a 20-year letter to himself. And he writes that person and he talks about what he hopes his life is and what it looks like. And he talks about it like he has 2 sons, and he talks about his sons being married and having kids. And like he's trying to actually every area of his life get very specific. You want to be a 5-dimensional person. What do I mean by that? Well, I think it's like faith, family, fitness, finance, friendship. Like you want to be a 5-dimensional person. Where does your faith look like in 20 years? What does your family look like in 20 years? What does your fitness, your health look like in 20 years? What does your finances look like in 20 years? And what do your friendships look like in 20 years? And get specific and then break that down to move towards that. One of the things that was shared at 8% that really stuck out to me, that was really powerful, and I would give credit if I remember who said it, but it stuck out to me about chasing your why. And one of the common things that they have seen in top performers is that they're always chasing their why. And in the pursuit of their why, that actually is their why. And I'm not sure if that makes sense what I'm saying. It's basically the pursuit of getting 1% better every day. I've always struggled going, man, I want to create the bigger why. Like I want to make sure that I have this why that's always motivating. But throughout my life, I'm human. I'm just like you guys. Sometimes I achieve the why that I set out. And now it's like, okay, what do I do now? Sometimes my why shifts a little bit. And it's like your why actually can be a moving target. People don't talk to you about that. It's in the pursuit of trying to understand that why. The pursuit of getting 1% better every single day. That is actually what it's about. And that really struck a chord with me. That was something I go, yeah, that really is. When I look at my own life, I go, yeah, that really is what it is with me. It's like, hey, I'm in constant pursuit of trying to be the best version that I possibly can be, to live out what I absolutely can become, because it's fulfilling. And I think it's what we're put on this earth to do, man. We're put on this earth to be creators, to innovate, to make an impact, to leave a legacy, to affect the lives of others. We're social creatures. We're here to give back and to affect other people. And it's in that pursuit that I think can make a difference. Third point I would give you, and I would give my sales caller, is find an accountability partner. We're social creatures. I just said it. Find an accountability partner. How many of you guys have a coach? Drop in the chats if you actually have a coach. If you have somebody that speaks into your life, whether it's a coach, a friend, a pastor, somebody who you allow to let into your life, that you'll let your guard down on. I think it's the Bible that says, like, wise is the man that has, counsel. And I'm butchering probably that proverb, but you got to have people that are allowed to speak into your life, that are allowed to call you out on your BS, that will hold you accountable. And you're not looking for people who are going to sugarcoat it. You're looking for people who will ask you the hard questions, and you're looking for people who will call you out. Do you have that in your life? If you don't, you need to find that. And it can be a friend. It can be a pastor. It can be a business professional that you look up to, that would agree to doing it. You need mentors in your life. And then the fourth thing I would tell this person is, hey, take time to rest. Take time to reflect. Take time to recharge. Oftentimes when you hear someone who's speaking as fast as I'm speaking, because of all the caffeine, and I'm just this type of person, this is my energy level, a lot of times you think to yourself, I just got to be on the grind 24/7. I just got to be hustling, pounding the pavement 24/7. That's not true. You got to take time to sharpen the saw. That's what Stephen Covey talks about, right? You want to be a successful person, you got to take time to sharpen the saw. You can be out there cutting down the tree, and it can take you longer to cut down the tree if you don't stop, sharpen your saw, take time to rest, reflect, recharge, and then go back. It can take actually longer if you just keep going. Don't be ashamed to rest. And actually what I've learned in my life is I was a hustle and grind type person. That's what I preached for years, right? That's what I live, just because it's who I am. I love work. I love what I'm doing. I don't even consider it work. This is what I've been put here to do. I love doing this. But what I've realized is That's an excuse, Luke, to say that you have to be grinding all the time and hustling all the time. You know what that means? It means you're actually not organized. It means you're actually not disciplined. When you can't take a break in your life, when you can't rest and recharge and reflect, it actually means that you're not disciplined, prepared, organized, have a plan specific on your goals. Challenge yourself to get better, because a lot of people work 12 hours a day and they don't get as much done as someone does when they just work 4 hours a day. That's the truth. Because they waste so much time because they're not organized, they're not prepared. And I would tell this person, hey, don't be afraid of resting, recharging, reflecting. It is a powerful thing to do to set you up. I think even God rested on the seventh day, not because he needed rest, but he was modeling for us that you should rest, right? You should rest. And how powerful and how awesome is that? We don't have to grind it out 7 days a week. You can rest and reflect and recharge. So these are some of the things that I would share with anyone who's saying, hey, look, I'm a strong starter, but I'm a weak finisher. What are some of the things I can do to implement in my life to make sure I finish? And guys, it's the start of the week. You're going to start off strong on this Monday. Keep it through till Friday, Saturday, rest on Sunday. Or if you are a weekend full person, rest on Saturday and Sunday. But start strong, finish strong. And remember, the best day to show up is the day you don't want to. That's true work ethic. If you want to know if you have true work ethic or not, the day you don't feel like going to the gym, the day you don't feel like making your calls, the day you don't feel like showing up for yourself, that is the day you show up. And when you show up on that day, now you can look yourself in the mirror and go, I'm a person that has true work ethic because I show up on the day I don't want to. It doesn't matter what my emotions are doing. My discipline is locked in because my purpose is known. I'm specific on my goals. And my will, as Ed Milet says, is not for sale. My will is not for sale. I know where I'm going. I know what I'm trying to achieve, and I'm going to make it happen at all costs. Let's have a great Monday. Go out there and win for yourself, win for your family, win for your clients. Let's make it a great week. Let's start strong. Let's finish strong. Appreciate you guys. Have a great one.